It's yet another wonderful day. This is Development and Transformation TV. My name is Gabi Ado. Today's topic is the David approach to down the Goliath. Goliath represents the challenges every nation faces in their quest for development. In Africa, we have a lot of challenges for development. And where Goliath comes challenging the authorities for them to dislodge them from their focus on development. And then they are unable to face the Goliath. Well, with God, all things are possible. David, the unknown killer of Goliath, before he downed Goliath, David was unknown. But when with God, he came into the scene and approached King Saul and told him he can down the Goliath. King Saul gave him his armory, but this was not proven and tested by David, so he rejected it. David in the wilderness was being prepared by God for such a day. And he was the one who was able to defeat lions and bears with bare hand. And seeing Goliath, as huge as it is, confronting the nation of Israel, David promised King Saul that by the help of God, he can down the Goliath. I am also an unknown person, but with the help of God and the revelation, I can lead this nation to down the Goliath that is facing this nation. David went to meet Goliath with 5 stones. I also have 5 stones in my hand that I can use to bring down the Goliath. In our subsequent episode, the details will be given. When Goliath saw David, even though he was huge with all his accoutrements and armory, Goliath shifted into the spirit and started cursing David with the gods of the Philistines. And David, also a man of God, sensing now that the terrain has been moved into the spirit, also prayed to Jehovah God to also intervene. This tells us that development is not only physical, but also spiritual. Development also requires the blessing of God and the mind of God, the knowledge, the wisdom, the revelation of God for development to be complete and to transform a nation. Any nation that is being confronted with the challenges of Goliath, you may not need all the high degrees, the certificates, those who attend Yale and those who attend the best universities to solve the problem. God normally uses people and use things that are not that people may respect to perform the wonders. David, an unknown person from the wilderness, came when the great army could not stand the threats of Goliath. The development challenges facing this nation can be down by the help of God. And God, with his mind and revelation to some of us, leading the pack, will be able to lead this nation to develop. David was able to down Goliath and finally cut his head off to complete the killing of Goliath. This nation will one day down the challenges of development, of poverty, of corruption, of politicking, and laziness, and all the evils of development that is plaguing this nation. And the Goliath facing this nation will be down, will be killed, and this nation will develop. David, using his strategies to down Goliath with his 5 stones, we will also use the same 5 stones of the arms of national governance. We have the executive, the judiciary, the legislature, and then we'll add 2 more that will be helpful to develop this nation. We'll rope in the chiefs and then the media. With these 5 stones, we'll be able to down the Goliath facing this nation. The executive arm of government will be rightly looked at and realigned to bring development to this nation. As it stands now, the executive is just about 5% ready for development of this nation. The legislature is about 20% ready for development of this nation. The judiciary is about 90% ready because it is a state institution. They have been vilified, they have pulled them down, but they still are on top of the game. The chieftaincy institution will be the next to come into the fray. As it looks now, the chieftaincy is also about 90% ready for development. Unfortunately, they've also been vilified, brought down, but with the right direction and the way shown to them, they will be able to fall in line with national development. We'll give them the right orientation to do that. Then the media is about 50% ready. And they need some fine-tuning. And I'm sure once we got all these 5 stones ready, this nation will down the Goliath that is facing it. And details will be given in our next episode. So stay tuned. In our next episode, you'll get the details. Thank you for watching.